What's going on, everybody? It's Saturday night here in the beautiful United States, and of course, that means it's the MLS live stream here on Stateside Footy. Of course, I am your host, Steve Silver, and God damn it, MLS is back for another fantastic weekend of soccer. And of course, tonight it is the Philadelphia Union hosting Eastern Conference leaders Columbus Crew, and of course, this is 1 versus 2 in the East, man. This is about as good as it gets. And tonight, joining me, of course, it's Vic James back in the UK, my friend. Are you fired up, man? It's 1v2 in the Eastern Conference. I gotta let me tell you, man. I get fired up for these type of contests. Yes, of course, I am known as being a diehard Seattle Sounder. He's experiencing some technical difficulties. He will be back. Yes, and of course, everybody knows that I'm a diehard Seattle Sounder. But that being said, man, MLS is more than just my favorite soccer teams, of course. And tonight is going to be on full display. The Columbus Crew. I don't think it gets any better in the Eastern Conference. Sitting at the top, 24 points, 18 goals for, 10 against, a goal differential of 8, 7 wins out of 11, 3 draws, only 1 loss on the season. Of course, that came via Miami. But Philadelphia has been good, man. Philadelphia has been really good. They themselves, 7 wins out of 11, 21 goals for, 10 against, plus 11 goal differential. Both of these teams know how to put the ball in the back of the net, and I think that's really the most important thing at the end of the day. But that being said, Columbus, coming into the season, was expected to be at the top of the Eastern Conference. And we're having sound issues? Interesting. So, interesting, really? From my end? Is it sound issues from my end? Interesting. Okay, well, anyway. So, Columbus is coming into this season as one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference, 100% expected to be at the top of the Eastern Conference standings. And that's even with losing Cucho Hernandez to Real Betis. And of course, that happened late in the winter window. And they turn around and pick up Gazdag from Philadelphia. So picking up where they left off, man, this team is absolutely fantastic, sitting on 24 points in the Eastern Conference. And they are going to be they're going to be right there all throughout they're going to be there all throughout this season. Yeah, man, what can I say? Columbus is great, but Philadelphia is even better. I mean, this is a crazy thing. After years under the stewardship of Jim Curtin, Philadelphia decides to make a managerial shift away from that, playing a more up-tempo, high-pressing type of system. They get rid of Jack McGlynn, U.S. men's national team midfielder, get on their way to Houston, and all of a sudden, it looks like it's something different. But Philadelphia has not missed a beat. They are playing very good soccer as of late, and I'm actually looking forward to this one, man. I got to be honest with you, and it's good to have it. We got Jazz Fusion in the house tonight for the MLS Watchalong, man. Jazz, it's always good to see you, man. For those that are over in the UK, man, this is a good opportunity to kind of check it out and see what's what. See, that's the thing. It's like when you talk to folks that are not in the United States and you ask them about MLS, of course the name David Beckham always comes up. And the reality, that was like 15 years ago, 20 years ago now. And the league has grown leaps and bounds. A lot of it has to do with the designated player rule, which is actually coincidentally the David Beckham rule. And because of it, offense and attacks are up. Goals are flying off the shelf. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man. Defenses are generally all homegrown and put together. Very good defenses, man. But for the the reality is what we're seeing now is a league that not only has U.S. homegrown players, South American young South American talent, and we're also starting to see some migration from England. This upcoming offseason, we had some players coming from the championship. We also had seen young U.S. players going to the championship. So it's that type of league now. And as soon as Major League Soccer can get its butt together with with its rules when it pertains to the salary caps and some of that money goes up, you're going to see a lot of good players migrate to it. Former U.S. men's national team head coach Bruce Arena, who's currently with San Jose, did let it slip that a lot of players are going to get their first taste of U.S. soccer in the summer of 2026, and there's a lot of players that want to be over here. They're just waiting for the money, so we'll see. Let's go ahead and check out tonight's starting lineups for your Philadelphia Union. And we'll start in the back right there with the goalkeeper of Rick, the back line of Wagner, Glasnes, Nathan Harriel, who is a U.S. men's national team member in the pool, followed by Westfield. It is going to set up in a 4-4-2, so your midfield four is going to be Vasilev, Lukic, who is absolutely fantastic, Jacques, Baribeau, and Diani. Baribeau and Diani will be up top. So that is for the Philadelphia Union and, of course, the Columbus Crew. Essentially lining up in a 3-4-1-2, and you're going to see the back line. You're going to see a back line that starts with goalkeeper Patrick Schulte, who, by the way, is the U.S. men's national team number 2, behind Matt Turner, who plays for Crystal Palace. And then you have a pretty solid back three of Chiberko, Zawadzki, and Maria. And then you have a midfield of Farsi, Dylan Shambos, MLS veteran Darlington Nagbe, and Max Starfson, who is also a U.S. men's national team pool player. On the wings in the midfield, it's kind of interesting how Mauricio Pochettino uses Max Starfson, but that's a different story for a different day. Lining up at the 10 will be Jackson, but really you're going to see Diego Rossi play a little bit hybrid 10 false 9 type thing with the man Gazdag up top, who is just literally scoring buckets out of his ass. So scoring goals like it's unbelievable. So we have the Columbus Crew in Philadelphia taking on the Philadelphia Union, and that game is about to start in just a few moments. And we will be with you as soon as this one kicks off. So we are looking forward to it. And I believe Big James is in the house. James, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can.
Yes. Don't know what happened there. Sorry, just
no, it's all good, man.
Couldn't hear anything. But shuffled it around and I've managed to get it working.
That's good.
I'm just trying to see if I can find the stream now.
No. Yeah, I think I got it. So yeah, it's an unbelievable matchup tonight. Last time you were on the MLS live stream, you were here for the New York Red Bulls versus the CF Montreal. Now you're actually going to see the best of what the Eastern Conference is all about. Number 1 versus number 2. I like that you're here, and I like this because we're all English football dominated, whether it's the Premier League, Championship. I even like League One and League Two. I'm even a fan of the National League, the non-league game. But one of the things that I like about this is you get a bird's eye view at American talent.
Yeah,
and you get to see the level of which the American game is being played at, to the point for, like, even from a scouting prospect, you can look at it and be like, you know what? That dude is definitely on a level of a championship level, maybe even a lower Premier League table type situation. And what I like about this is you get to see the best of the Eastern Conference. You get to see Columbus, who is managed by the best manager in Major League Soccer, what's his name? I was going to say Thierry Henry. It's not Thierry Henry. It's oh, good Lord. Wilfred Nancy, excuse me. Wilfred Nancy, who used to coach the U21s for France, went to Montreal. Good, got a team like Montreal, who is absolutely dreadful, got them to finish second, goes on to Columbus, wins the MLS Cup in his first season there, and is competing for the CONCACAF Champions Leagues now. And it's just, it's unbelievable, right? So that team is absolutely flying. They got the best U.S. Keeper, young U.S. keeper on their team. This is just an unbelievable team, and I'm glad you're here to check this out, my guy.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be hopefully a good game. I mean, the last game I watched was a good game. There was only one goal in it, but it was a good game. A nice, fiercely and evenly fought contest. So, yeah, pleased to be here. Looking forward to actually watching it. And like I say, I get a unique perspective because of I've grown up watching all the tiers of English football, and yeah, it'd be interesting to see sort of where the level of the players and the quality of the players are, and I can sort of tie it in with Man.
Did you just? I think James just might have froze up.
Yeah, I'm back.
No,
sorry.
there you go, bud. There you go. So let me ask you this, my guy. When you're looking at young American players, what is your expectation? Just from a talent standpoint, are you looking to be dazzled? Or are you just looking for technical ability? Both, when you look at young players, what's the first thing you actually generally go for?
I'm looking at their positioning and how hard they're working. Because you can have a young player that's got all the talent in the world, but if it doesn't look like they're working hard for the team, then you kind of think, okay, he's a talented individual, but that's what he is an individual. So that's what I like to look at for first, and then I start to look at how they pass the ball, how they carry the ball, then start looking at the technicals, because you want somebody who's going to be able to integrate into your team, if that's how you're looking at a player. And so, yeah, that's how I always look at players and think, how is he going to fit into my team? What team does he fit into? And if it's somebody who's like setting the world on fire and really lighting up the league, then you start thinking, okay, is he good enough to play for the Premier League? And what kind of Premier League club would you play him for? So it's it's going to be interesting, and I'm looking forward to it, like the last game that we watched together. The last game we watched. It's I'm looking forward to it again.
And oh good Lord, pull this back up. Hopefully, it's not going to be one of those nights, because we're about ready for kickoff here. Just a quick note: the last time the Columbus Crew were in action was last weekend against Charlotte. They pulled off a 4-2 victory, getting goals from Chambos, Rossi, Jackson, and Russell Rowe. This team is absolutely just flying. Good Lord, man. It's going to be interesting, but we are ready to kick off here, and it looks like Columbus will take the ball to start this, and it looks like it's going to be Jackson and it looks like Rossi's thing is going to try to go all the way out left, and now my stream. Come on. All right, there we go. All right, so here we go. And all right, so that's going to be booted away. Philadelphia controls the possession. That's going to be played out. Looks like it's going to be played out wide right, as Philadelphia is just going to get that ball knocked loose. So here's Jackson. Jackson, and it'll be held possession by Columbus. So that's going to kick all the way out to Farsi, who's going to hold. He's going to play it back. Looks like it's Zawadzki. And Columbus will reset as it goes up the left-hand side. Nice little play right there. Nice little touch. Here's Darlington Nagbe.
I'm still trying to find a working link.
If you're on the same site, go all the way to like the right before the platinum and gold, the last platinum. That should usually work.
All right.
And Columbus is set behind the halfway line. That's a nice little play right by the Farsi. And that's going to be deflected and out. And it'll be a throw in for Columbus as Diego Rossi was the last to try to make that play. And now here's Farsi about to throw it in. And he'll play this up to Diego Rossi. Nice little touch. And that's going to get out and looks like it'll be a corner. So right away, nice little play by Nathan Ariel as it pokes out. But Columbus will be rewarded with a corner early on.
Oh, there we
minute
go.
40. Yep, minute 43. I love Columbus's yellow. They look like a bunch of Charlie Browns running around. And it looks like Diego Rossi will take this corner. That ball's whipped in a little short. That's going to be deflected up and out. Here's Darlington Nagbe, who's going to try to keep possession, and he does. That ball's booted all the way up. It's going to be Jackson, 1v1. Look at Philadelphia trying to outmuscle them, and now there's a break on the counter. 1v0, nice little touch pass right there. It's just a little too heavy, and Schulte will clear this. That'll get out. It'll be a Philadelphia throw-in. So right away, this thing is action. Okay, they're going to say that's offside right there. Okay, fair enough. So it will be. It'll be a goal kick here for Columbus, and Schulte will take care of that right away. So here's Zawadzki. Sorry there. All right, so yeah, that's right. And Zawadzki's going to hold it. Now he's going to play it up to Sherberko.
What minute are you on the game, Steve?
2 minutes and 3 minutes, 3 minute 2.
3 minutes 2.
Yeah, now it's 3:07.
I'm a little bit further along than you.
All right. Where are you at?
3:30.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you're good 10 seconds ahead.
Yeah. Not letting me pause it though.
That's fine. Don't worry about it. Here is a Philadelphia throw-in right here, and it looks like it's going to be Sullivan who's going to play that back. That ball's booted all the way up, and Columbus will take care of that. But that comes right back down to a Philadelphia forward. Philadelphia will try to hold possession. It almost feels like Philly's trying to rush this a little bit. Now they're going to slow it down around the corner. He's going to lead it on right there. There's a ball whipped in. Nice little play. Ooh, Columbus kind of takes care of that. There's Jackson running it forward. Here's Jackson still holding possession. Dumps it out left as that ball's going to get played back. And it looks like it's going to be Sherberko back to Zawadzki. And now the crew are going to reset. Here's Morea. There's nowhere to go there, so he passes it back to Zawadzki. And now looks like Columbus is going to try to calm this down as they're looking to play a little bit more centrally, but that ball's going to go out. Looks like it's Diego Rossi. And they try to play a direct pass, but that's automatically intercepted. And now Philly will counter. Nice little play out there. Here's Sullivan up the left-hand side. 1v1. Shimmies, cuts in. Ball's deflected and out. It will be a throw-in. So, we're about 5 minutes in, and it almost feels like these two teams are trying to throw early haymakers here.
Yeah. Good play by Philly a couple of moments ago, cutting inside, just couldn't get it. Very crowded, sort of 6-yard box there, and but they look strong, and well, both teams looking pretty comfortable on the ball, but yeah, definitely just trying to sort of feel each other out and, like I say, trying to throw the knockout punch within the first 5 minutes of the game, maybe get that early goal, settle themselves down a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. And both teams are looking scrappy early, and there's a ball that's going to be deflected out there. And again, as we're approaching the 5th minute here, Philly's trying to make something happen. Here's Sullivan pinned down in the left corner, cuts in. He's going to have to lay that back off. Looking to throw one in, but there's nobody there. Here's Sullivan again. And come on now. And here comes Columbus on the break. It's all the way out right. All the way out wide right. There's a deflection. It goes out. Nice play right there by Wagner, as that's going to force Philly to have a throw in here. That's going to play it in. Looks like it's going to be Diego Rossi, covered by 4 Philadelphia Union shirts. As that ball, that's a nice little weighted pass all the way up to the right. All in. Right there by Jackson. Oh. And, yeah. It looks like it's
offside.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there you go. It's going to be offside. Nice little play right there, as that ball was nice little weighted pass up the right-hand side. You whipped one in. Nice. Oh, and then bad touch right there by Jackson, by the way. Trying to corral it with his foot, but it ends up inadvertently putting a shot on net.
Yeah.
That's actually quite unfortunate. That would have been a nice goal. But Philadelphia now controls possession. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, Jess. As Philadelphia is trying to work their way up. Nice little play, nice little touch. In the box, 1v1. Oh, nice kick out there. He had absolutely nothing there. And that's a shame right there by Vasilev, because he actually could have beaten his man to the corner right there if you just would have pressed head. He had another runner on the other side of the box right there, but he tried to cut in for a better angle, and then Columbus just taps it away. And you can see Wilfred Nancy just kind of disgusted with his defense right there, allowing Vasilev to break in. Nice little touch though by Philadelphia. That was actually a nice pass.
Yeah, it really was. Really start probing, and it's looking like a good game so far, but it's very back and forth.
It is. Not one, like both teams are trying to throw a haymaker to get that first goal. No teams are really trying to slow it down. I mean, Columbus has reset by holding the ball a little bit, but every time that they try to counter, it's like go, numbers forward, trying to make that direct pass. But credit Philadelphia, because they're sitting in the passing lanes. They're not allowing Columbus to really work their way through the midfield early in this one. So I guess it's kudos to Philly, but it really is back and forth. Both teams trying to move fast to get that early goal.
Yeah, it's been a good game so far. I'm enjoying this.
Nice touch. Farsi's being corralled against the far right line right there. That's going to be played back to the keeper, Patrick Schulte. That's Philly looked like Columbus right there is trying to play it out the back. Here's Chaberko. That ball's going to be over the top, and he's got Farsi. And he beat his man too, but now he's got to come in. Here's Jackson. Ooh, and he missed it. Oh, Jackson. Oh, that's
should have been burying that. Should have been burying that.
Ooh, that was a zeal, not Jackson. Sorry about that. God damn it. That was a good layoff too.
Yeah,
good ball over good ball over the top. Laid it off and missed it. Oh, that's heartbreaking. That's heartbreaking, James.
Just couldn't get it out from underneath his feet. He had to really try and generate power with very little backswing. But should have been doing better there. Should have been doing a lot better. I would have expected to see the back of the net being rippled there.
Oh, 100%. What sucks is can you do this under pressure? And the answer right there was absolutely no, because he had a dude right there off his left side coming in, applying a little pressure, and all he had to do was just be calm in that moment and put the ball in the back of the net. It looked like it was very, very, very rushed, and it looked like Columbus there had to try to take a short corner that was played out for their second consecutive corner. So here's Diego Rossi, and that ball's going to be played short again. As they're going to try to whip this around. Here's Rossi. Play it in. And they're going to have to play it back now because, here's Darlington Nagbe. Nagbe.
Nice turn. Oh, nice play by Columbus. Cross wasn't seemed to be there, so recycle it. I thought he was going to get his pocket picked then.
Yeah, I did too.
But he just turned nicely, used his strength, used his body, and turned back on himself and just gave himself that yard or two of space to be able to play a ball across.
Yep, and looked like that shot was by Gazdag right there, former Philadelphia Union member himself.
Yeah, so far quite an interesting first 12 minutes. It is very back and forth, and like you say, each team trying to add. Both teams had good opportunities to
I would agree.
Take the lead.
I think Columbus has had some of the better opportunities. Now, granted, we're only 12 minutes in. I mean, but that being said, Philadelphia has had some nice opportunities themselves. Maybe better decision making from Columbus so far by Philly, but by no means, Philly has definitely taken their chances a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's just a case of if, not when. When, not if. To say that way around. The first goal goes in.
As we welcome Dermatron into the chat. That's a nice ball forward that's going to get poked out, and I think that might be another Columbus corner right there, and it will be. Yeah, nice little weighted pass all the way through as Rossi was trying to get around Nathan Harriel right there. Harriel does a nice job of putting that out for taking away the danger. But again, Columbus with the corner.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get a good cross on this one. Don't play it short this time.
Yeah, definitely don't play it short. Whip it in. Here's Rossi. We'll take another corner for Columbus. I think this might be their fourth. That's a ball in short, popped up, and cleaned out of there. Ooh, there's a long shot. That's going to get deflected up and out, and I think that's going to be a throw-in.
Yeah, Columbus throwing.
And all of a sudden, my screen goes down. Let's see if we can find a new screen here. All right. So we're at the 14 and a half minute mark now.
Yeah.
And look at Nathan Harriel doing the Lord's work on that back line for Philadelphia. I got it's funny because I rave about Columbus's back three, but listen, Philadelphia's playing amazing defense right now. I think they've only let 10 goals in through the first 11. Scored 21. Their plus minus has been absolutely their differential has been pretty fantastic. That's a nice little header over the top, but it's going to be cleaned up here by Columbus. Nice little touch right there.
Yeah, nice pass.
Yeah,
good vision on that pass.
Mm-hmm. Philly was trying to press, but Columbus played right out of it. There's a ball over the top to the left. Nice switch there by Columbus. Good defense. Good defense by Westfield right there as that ball's going to be headed out of bounds. So Columbus is going to have to reset. and start over here with the throw-in.
Somehow you've managed to get now in front of me in time.
Did I really? Where are you at?
15:40.
Yeah, I'm only just a couple seconds ahead of you. I'm now at 15:50, so just a few seconds ahead.
Right, Columbus just sitting on the ball a little bit.
Yep. So
Columbus sort of,
ooh,
I would
nice
say
play
Columbus
in.
is sort of seeing the more of the ball right now.
Absolutely. Here's Philly on the break, and it's going to be Vasilev. They're going to slow this thing down all the way back out. So now Philadelphia will try to control this. Control this here. There's the captain putting one over. Oh, that's just a little too hard right there. It's going to go all the way down to Farsi, who's going to kick it back in to Schulte. But that ball's going to be popped up. Philadelphia takes control right here with possession. Oh, nice little touch right there. That ball goes out, and Philadelphia will get the throw in here.
Yeah, good tackle.
Said my screen goes to shit. There we go. All right. So here's Philadelphia now. There's a ball over the top. Oh, okay. So it just picks up.
Just a little that's a replay of.
Yep. All right. So I'm at 16:40 right now.
Yeah, that's where I'm at now.
All right. So it'll be a Philadelphia throw-in.
Yeah. If it doesn't stop freezing.
Yeah, it froze for mine too. Let's see if I can find that out.
Here we go. So it's Philadelphia with throw in.
Oh yeah. So all right. Let's see if my stream comes back on here. There's the kick out. All right. So 16, 40, 49, 50 years to throw on. All right. Oh, there we go. Now I'm at, all right. So there we go. All right. So that ball is going to get out right there past the end line. It looks like it was going to be Baribo right there. And let's see. That was a nice little through ball right there. Good defense by Columbus. Looks like Nagby gets his back pocket pick. And then Baribo, just a heavy touch right there. Couldn't corral it. That ball gets out. And it looks like it's going to be a Columbus goal kick. Yep. Absolutely. There's nothing Baribo can do right there. Just too heavy of a touch. Here's Schulte. He's going to play it back out left. Nice cut back in. Plays it back to Schulte. That ball's going to go way right. That's going to get out. Horrible touch right there. Under pressure from Philadelphia from Patrick Schulte. Is that he just kicks it right out. Now Philly's going to have a throw in deep into Columbus's side. You know, that's the thing. I mean, if you're under pressure as a goalkeeper, young goalkeeper or not, you just try to boot that as far up the field. And if it goes out, it goes out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
The last thing you want to do is, give them the ball close to your own net. Here's the throw-in. Headed away by Columbus. Philly controls. Nice little play right there. And that's going to get booted all the way back to their center back, their captain, who's going to try to play it up the right side now. Nice touch. They're moving in. This looks like it might be Vasilev. No whistle. Wow. Unbelievable. Nice play by Max Arfston right there. As I'm trying to look at this, as that ball was played forward. Oh, yeah. Okay. So Arfston just gets his toe on the ball. and home dude just tripped. All right. He was trying to get a card right there, no dice, says the ref. I actually think that might be the right play. As we are at 21 minutes now here in the first half, still 0-0. But yeah, I would have to agree with you. Columbus has controlled the tempo of the action so far, as that ball is going to be switched all the way out to the right, but that's way too far forward and he gets out for throwing. I would think that I think that Columbus has definitely controlled the tempo, controlled the possession, and has had the better looks. But over the course of the last couple of minutes, Philadelphia has been a little bit more dangerous.
Yeah.
Getting forward.
Philly looked like they're trying to catch Columbus on the counter attack, and just sort of quite happy to keep trying to catch them on the break.
Yeah. But because like you can see Philly trying to move through the mid, and then all of a sudden you see three shirts converge onto the ball, and right there was a prime example. Four shirts convert, ball gets intercepted, and it looked like Columbus was going to break forward, but they have to reset under Philly pressure. As Nagby almost lost the ball right there. Oh boy, here's Schulte. There you go, bud. Just play it forward. Here's Nagby. There's a whistle. All right. That looks like it's going to go against Columbus, so Philly will have the free kick, and that ball's booted way. Oh, he took a shot on net right there. Okay. That ball goes over the crossbar. Good shot right there.
Yeah. Saw what he was trying.
He's all smiles. He's all it's home dude. That was Glesnes. He's all smiles. he just was like, screw it, man. I'm gonna put one on.
I mean, it was a good effort.
Yeah, I agree.
Would have taken something extra special to beat goalkeeper from there, I think, though.
I agree with you, Jazz Fusion. Yeah, Columbus wants the ball the Union don't. Why aren't you diving 20? Why aren't I diving 20? So Columbus is playing out of the back here. That's a little poked over to Schulte, who's going to play it forward. That's a nice little play right there. Here's Nagby. Oh, and that ball was Nagby just let Philly have it. Here's the counter. Plays it forward. Off the right side. Cuts in. Cross. Oh, that cross was not a good one. Oh.
Yeah, just put a little bit too much on it, didn't he?
And he was all alone at the far post, too. He was all alone.
In acres of space. He could have had a cup of tea by the time he waited for that ball.
Oh, and Columbus is so lucky right there. As Columbus here is playing out of the back against Philly's press. Nice little pass right there. That's going to get all the way back to Schulte now. Good movement by Columbus. And here's Cherkbo. And he's looking forward. There's nobody there. Passes it into the mid. It's going to go all the way back to Maria, who's going to play it forward. Ooh, nice touch. Here's Maria. Here's Rossi. Back to Maria. Actually, it might have been Arvston. Here's Rossi right here. Nice defense. Here's Rossi. Oh, nice pass. Here's Diego Rossi in the box. Shot on goal. Oh. And Arvston was open. He was open. Off the left-hand side. Yeah. Oh, it just didn't. Oh. That ball caromed. Rossi picked it up inside the box late. It was tapped away. And then Arvston off the left-hand side just puts it over the crossbar. Oh.
Just didn't get his foot sort of round it enough to get it in get it in and get the foot right, curl it enough round. That's what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah, no, 100%. Somewhat kind of played a. How's it going, Donna Colin? Thank you very much. He's at the stadium. He's at the stadium. That's where he's at. So there you go. So thanks for tuning in. I'm sure it's late over there. All right. So we're 25 minutes in, and it's still 0-0 here in Philly. And it looks like it's going to be a Philly corner now. It looks like Wegner is going to be taking this corner. Can Philly strike first here? Wouldn't be surprised. Philly's kind of showing some guts as Klesner is moving in. Ball in. Looks like that's headed away. There's Patrick Schulte. And it looks like Nagby is down here. As we look at the replay here, Darlington Nagby was trying to lay that one off. It looks like Paribo just came in and probably put an elbow on him for some reason. Interesting.
Yeah, it didn't look it looked a bit nasty, like he caught him something.
It was interesting because I don't understand why he came in with that type of late challenge. But here's Watsky. Here's Diego Rossi. That's a nice little tap forward, trying to get Farsi. That ball's going to get out, and it'll be a Philadelphia throw-in. Yeah, I don't necessarily like Columbus's movement right there. I understand what they were trying to do, but Philadelphia had that thing snipped out.
Yeah.
Here we go. It's like Baribo 1v1 on the side right there. Yeah, that's going to be a whistle. But the challenge right there as that ball was coming back. Damiani is now arguing with the ref. And here we go. There's Cherko holding the ball. Now he passes it out to the right. Here's Maria trying to find somebody. Here's Farsi off the right-hand side. It's going to play it back. That thing is going to go centrally to Nagby. Plays it out left. Here's Cherko all the way up the left. Here's Arston. Nice little touch right there. And now Philadelphia is going to reset, playing it all the way back. Here's Nagby. Look at that. 2 Union shirts right there every time they touch the midfield. And now here comes Columbus trying to play it in. Off the right-hand side, here's Farsi. He's got to turn backwards and play it all the way back. Now Columbus will reset. Yeah, and it's interesting too because you can tell Columbus is trying to move a little bit more centrally, but they have been kind of put on the wings here. Every single time that they try to go centrally, there's at least 2 Union shirts collapsing on them.
Yeah, it's they're not giving each other. They're working for every bit of space. Mm-hmm. Both teams are working for every bit of space that they're trying to get. Yep. Both teams are very committed to the press, but not wanting to give time and space on the ball and really making them work.
Yep, the last ball is always lacking. You're absolutely right. They are in Philadelphia, so that's where they're at. This Poland. Yeah, that's yeah. As they're highlighting the matchup between Danley Jean-Jacques and Dylan Jampost. That's actually been a nice little rivalry going there in the mid. So here's Philly. They're going to lay it all the way back to their keeper, Rick. He's going to play that back forward. Here's Klasnes. Back to Rick. Look at, there you go. Ooh, nice press right there by Columbus. That's going to be headed down. Darlington Nagby will corral it, and all of a sudden Columbus has possession now. There's Shambos. Nice touch right there. Looks like it was playing centrally to Rossi right there. And it is. Here's Arvston coming up the left. Actually, Shambos right there. Oh, Gazdick. Sorry. No whistle. Here comes Philly on the counter. What are you going to do? He's going to continue to hold. Lays it off. Out wide right. Nice little touch right there. And Philly has to play it back. No room up the right side. Drops it in. They're going to have to play this one back again. Credit Columbus's defense. They're not giving up that right side. Philly's trying to run it up there. That's a nice little touch. And now they got some space. Try to play it in. Oh, good defense by Columbus. Shot on net. Ooh, is that? Ooh, Wagner put one on. Nice save right there by Patrick Schulte. It was a corner. And that's going to be cleared out, but Philly will hold possession. That ball's whipped to the back post, and it's going to get out. So after the shot, looks like there was a corner that was defended well by Columbus. There's a goal kick, and that'll get out. That's another terrible goal kick right there by Patrick Schulte. Looking for Farsi down the right side, but a little too heavy of a goal kick. So we're in the 33rd minute here. Still a 0-0 scoreless tie at this point. As now that both teams have settled into this, James, I still get the impression that Columbus is right on the doorstep of getting that first goal. But then all of a sudden, here comes Philly on the counter. And it also feels like if Columbus lets up just an inch, Philly has the ability to make this 1-0.
Yeah, it certainly feels that way and looks that way so far.
Ooh, and Shambo is down. Ooh, that ball was played in.
Linesman flag's gone up as well.
Yeah.
It's been an interesting game. Oh yeah, it was offside. Just seeing a replay of that.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
So it does feel like when Columbus are on the ball, they're just lacking that final bit of quality and to really punish Philadelphia. But Philadelphia are sort of sitting there and allowing Columbus to have the ball a little bit, and then when they get the ball, when Philly are getting the ball, they're trying to break very quickly and his ball over the top, and it's straight through to keeper, and it kind of you get that impression that when Philly get the ball, they're breaking with very speed, but because they're going so quick, they're getting a bit tangled up in themselves, if you know what I mean. They're not.
Yeah, 100%.
Where they need to maybe just calm down a little bit when we're getting that final third. It's all a bit rushy at the moment.
Right, and then and because of it, it almost looks a little sloppy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like Columbus does look smooth on the attack, but you're absolutely right. It's just that final pass that would essentially unlock that front three is just lacking. And and it's just like, I look at Philadelphia and I'm like, all right, that's cool because defensively they're sound, right? They're doing their best, and and especially when they get that midfield interception, they just turn on the jets and try to get forward as quick as possible. Then it just ends up looking sloppy.
Yeah,
totally. But I like Philadelphia's counter.
yeah.
I really
mean,
do.
they look dangerous on the counter.
Mm-hmm. Here's Farsi in the box, too heavy of a touch. Philly will clear that all the way back out, and so Columbus is going to have to start over. Here's Shambost right there into Nagby, who's got to play it back. Here's Zawadzki. That's going to be played back. Nice little touch by Gazdag, who's going to play that forward. Here's Farsi. Nice touch. Ooh, and he was trying to play. Looks like he was trying to play Rossi forward, but that ball was deflected and out right there. Nice ball movement up the right hand side by Columbus right there.
Yeah,
I liked it.
Manager giving him does not look happy though. He does not look happy at all.
Mm-hmm. High expectations with Wilfred Nancy.
Yeah, definitely.
Very high expectations. This is a team that has won MLS Cup, was very close to hoisting CONCACAF Champions League, and they're a threat, man. They are a threat, not just here in the Eastern Conference, but also for MLS Cup, for Leagues Cup. I think they won it last year, so they won the summer tournament featuring MLS and Liga MX sides. So this team knows how to win. And I think that's the difference, right? Philadelphia is a good team, but one of the things that they lack is that ability to close out games, because this is a fairly youngish team, and as talented as they are, man, it's like having a team that has been to the top of the mountain a few times, that knows how to close out tough games. It's invaluable.
Yeah, absolutely.
When circumstances calls for a pitching wedge, they bring out a 7 Jazz Fusion. There's Diego Rossi, who hits the turf immediately as soon as he touches. Here's Columbus trying to play it all the way over. They do. Kind of an ugly switch right there. Here's Max Arfston. Plays it forward. Rossi. Here's Jack. Here's Azil.
Azil, I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh. That ball's tipped away, but Columbus will retain possession. Nice hustle right back to the ball right there. I think that was Shambost that made that touch right there to keep possession for Columbus. Nice hustle. Here's Shambost. I'll lay it off to Zawadzki. Let's see how Columbus handles this. Nice touch. A little. Ooh, no. Oh, come on. He's going to try to shoot for net. There's Patrick Schulte right there. Philadelphia trying to catch Columbus out. That was Quinn Sullivan right there.
Yeah. I think that they're looking at that because the Columbus goalkeeper Schultze he's so far out of his box all the time. He's kind of acting like as more of a sweeper rather than an actual goalkeeper. I mean, he's perpetually 10 yards off outside the box. And so you can see why Philadelphia. Oh, that's a good ball. Oh.
Nice possession right there. Ooh, and he play this all the way out to the right. Here's Gazdag moving in. Cross, deflected. Here's Nagby. Nice hold right here. Here's Shambost. On net. Ooh, and he just missed it. Just missed the post. Nice shot right there by Shambost. He put one on. That thing was a laser. Woo. And it just misses wide to the right there. Look, damn, nice. That was a nice attempt. No, you're absolutely right about that. Right, Patrick Schulte does. He 100%. He's playing. It feels like he's playing 10 yards outside his box.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right about that. I don't know if you were aware of a young American keeper that was playing in League One earlier this year. His name was Gaga Slonina. He played for. God damn it. Not Lincoln City, but he played for Barnsley. And he played out like that as well too. And but in League One, he was absolutely burnt every single time that he came out that deep. And it's like, it's a good idea if you have the agility and stamina to do that. And I think in Major League Soccer, you might be able to get away with that a little bit, but even in League One with the pace and in the pressure that is those young teams in League One, man, you're not going to be able to get away with that.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, you could probably get away with it at the lower end of sort of like League One, but you start stepping up and you're going to get punished for that kind of like that. Somebody will keep catching you out.
I remember Barnsley played in a League One Carabao Cup match. Sorry, not a League One. A Carabao Cup match between. They went to actually Old Trafford, and they got absolutely clubbed 8-0. And Slonina was in net for that one, and it was like Manchester United's third team, and they absolutely slaughtered Barnsley. And Barnsley had their first team out there, big match at Old Trafford. And you just can't get away. You can't get away with playing that deep, that far up as a keeper. It just does not play.
No,
not at Old Trafford. Here's Philly right now. Looks like Philly's holding possession. That ball's going to get played all the way back. And he's like probably my favorite young U.S. keeper. But
yeah.
But that being said, it's like, sometimes you gotta play that traditional keeper role.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I'm all for. I mean, you look at his positioning now, just on the edge of the screen.
Yeah,
it's all about. I understand he's probably trying to help his defense out and be a bit supportive and just be that extra man, because it looks like Columbus play with like 3 centre backs and wide wing backs.
Mm-hmm.
The way they keep setting up, so I understand why he wants to be there to basically be that extra man. But he's if he's not careful, he will get caught out.
Yep. And you can see Philadelphia just taking chances on it, right? That was what, the second or third time that they tried that?
Yeah.
It was like the first 2 times they almost connected. That was the crazy thing. And here's Columbus, nice little pick, and there's going to be a whistle. I don't necessarily like that whistle right there. Here's Glasnez now. He's going to stand over the ball. The captain for Philly. I think he's going to acquiesce to Ariel. As we're getting pretty close to halftime here, we're in minute 44. And there's a nice little shot up here. Sullivan up the left side. Nice kick by the goalkeeper, Rick. Into the box. Cross. Go! Philadelphia. And it's Baribo. And it was it all starts with a goal kick by Rick up the left-hand side. Brought in by Sullivan, who worked itself into the box with a nice sweep cross, beating his defender. And there's Baribo at the end of it. And Philadelphia gets one right before the half. What a sweet goal. And beautiful goal right there by Baribo. And we were saying it. It's like, you can't rest on Philadelphia, because they're going to keep pressing forward. And they're going to keep taking their chances. And sure enough, there it is. good time run by Sullivan as well too. That's what I like about it.
Yeah, he just sat, waited, saw the play developing, and he was like, right, I'm all over this. And
what I can't understand is why Columbus allowed Sullivan just to be so open off that left hand side to begin with. Anyway, that's what surprises me, because Columbus has been actually pretty solid on defense.
Yeah,
and they just allowed him just to run free off the left hand side, onside as well too, and that was just a sweet sweet cross. And all of a sudden now it's 1-0 Philadelphia. That's what's astonishing to me. It was a great play by Philadelphia right there, but God damn it, God damn it, Columbus.
yeah. Still, I mean, it's a bad time to concede a goal as well. But close to half time, and there is the half time whistle.
Yep. Giuliano Suarez is asking what's the score. It's 1-0 Philadelphia. And as we are getting savagely close to halftime, and I believe we're almost there. As Philadelphia will hold possession as we are waiting for the end of the first half, and it's going to be coming to an end in just a second, and there it is right there. So we come to the half, and it's 1-0 Philadelphia, who strike right there, right as the dying minutes of the first half, and they take a 1-0 lead into the locker rooms. And I want to give props to Columbus a little bit, because again, controlling the possession in the first half. But none of that necessarily matters, because really when it came down to it, they couldn't find that final pass, they couldn't do it. But that being said, man, right when Philadelphia needed it, man, they played heads up. As we're going to get into some halftime stats real quick. As we look at the possession stats, Columbus has 66% of the possession to Philadelphia's 34%. The XG favors Philadelphia 0.85 to Columbus's 0.54. Total shots is even 7-7. The big difference here, though, James, is that the shots on target favor Philly 4-1, which is letting you know that even with less possession, Philadelphia still is getting shots on target. I think that's
absolutely.
Columbus has the more accurate passes, 251 to 116, and corners is 4 to Columbus. One of the things that I always like looking at is not just accurate passes, but also touches in the opposite box. Philadelphia has 14 to 11.
Yeah.
and also interceptions as well too. 6-4. Tackles 1. It's 7-4 Philly. Clearances, it's 10-9 Columbus. Keeper saves 3-1 Columbus as well too. And in duels here, it's kind of interesting. Ground duels 14-13 to Columbus, but aerial duels it's 6-3 Philadelphia. Except successful dribbles is 6 to Columbus. So, I would say that when you look at the stats, it looks like it was a pretty even first half. But that being said, again, when it gets down to it, it's like possession doesn't mean anything unless you're able to utilize that possession and put shots on target. And so far, it's been Philadelphia that's been taking advantage on the counterattack.
Absolutely, and they've looked, like I said, they looked very menacing on the counter attack, and they were quite happily just letting Columbus do their thing, but was standing big in defense and not panicking and just dealing with what was in front of them and allowing them to play their football out away from them, and they just took advantage of the break and scored a lovely goal right on half time.
And what, just from your estimation, what does Columbus have to do to start the second half? If this is one of the situations where it's like they immediately have to get back into this game, within the first 10 minutes, apply a little bit more pressure to try to get that equalizer? Or is that something where if they continue to try to work the ball in like they have, that final pass will come?
I think that's a fair assessment, really. I don't think they've done much wrong, to be fair. I mean, you can't say, they need to up the game, because they've been playing well and they have been dominating. I just think a bit cooler heads in the final third. Don't rush it. Don't snap at your shots. It's just keep doing what you're doing, and the goal will come. What they've just got to do is just tighten up a little bit on the defense and midfield, just a little bit. Don't allow Philadelphia to dictate it for play, and also just be patient. Don't rush. Don't panic. They've been in big portions of this game, and it's nothing for them to panic about. The goal will come.
Yeah, I'd like to see Diego Rossi get a little bit more involved on Columbus's attack. He's kind of that number 10, that little hybrid 10 false 9 guy. But that so far in the first half, he's really been playing as the 10 there for Columbus. Jazz Fusions, it does checks in. He says Philly's trap has been their best asset so far, and I kind of like that. I kind of like that comment right there. Before we get to the second half, let's look around Major League Soccer. Today, full time, Chicago did beat Atlanta 2-1 with goals by Hugo Kuiper and Kouame. And for Atlanta, they get the goal by Sam Rogers. Actually, as a matter of fact, it was an own goal. And Atlanta United actually is still struggling considerably. And that was supposed to be one of those teams that were going to have a lot of firepower in the East. So far, it's been a little bit of a struggle there for Atlanta. So congratulations, Chicago, with a 2-1 win. Toronto beats DC United 2-0. Goals by Insigne and Bartlett. And it's unfortunate, but DC's kind of trash. Minnesota absolutely dummied Inter Miami. Goals by Longwene, Markanich, Wingett, and Laud. And Leo Messi scored for Inter Miami. But good Lord, man, they let four go, including an own goal. So congratulations to Minnesota with that big victory. The Red Bulls are currently leading the LA Galaxy at the half 3-0. Eric Maxine Choupo-Moting with 2 goals in the 7th and 31st minute, and Emil Forsberg popped one in the 16th minute. So the reigning MLS Cup champions are absolutely getting destroyed in New York. At the half, Cincinnati leads Austin 1-0 as Evander scored for Cincinnati. So that game's about to start up in the second half. And at halftime right now, NYCFC is even. It's 0-0 with Montreal. And Orlando City and New England is 2-2 at the half with a brace by Martin Ojeda in the 24th and 33rd minute. For New England, Alassane Youssef scored in the 38th minute and Matt Polster in the 44th. So that one's all even as well too. Later tonight, San Diego FC is in St. Louis. Real Salt Lake is at FC Dallas. And let me tell you, man, Diego Rossi is something. Not Diego Rossi, but Diego Luna is absolutely something special for Real Salt Lake. There's a good chance that he's going to play himself into MVP this year. So that's going to be an absolutely fantastic one. Charlotte's in Nashville. Seattle is in Houston to take on the Dynamo. San Jose is in Colorado. Sporting Kansas City, Drew's team, is in Portland. And tomorrow night, which is the MLS game of the week, it's LAFC is north of the border in Vancouver to take on the Whitecaps. And of course, the Vancouver Whitecaps currently lead the Western Conference, and that team is playing for the CONCACAF Champions League. They're in the final versus, I believe, I want to say it was Cruz Azul. So that's going to be an absolute dandy, the Champions League final there. But Jazz Fusion also chimes in and says, no Ricky Pooch, no party. Yeah, but you know what, though? What's so funny about that, though? It's like it's not necessarily about one player. Like Ricky Puig is something special, but that they still have Peck, they still have Paintsel. They did get rid of their striker Joveljic, but that being said, they also lost Marky Delgado. They lost a couple key players, and so far Greg Vanney just has not been able to get that team rolling at all. Sitting dead last in the Western Conference. I can't remember a time where a team that won the MLS Cup the very next year sat in last place after 11 games. I think only 3 points on the season, 3 draws. Good Lord, man, that team is an absolute train wreck. And I'll say it again, right? I don't like MLS has this problem with letting coaches just be there long term, right? Like that's the thing with Major League Soccer. If the LA Galaxy want to be taken as a serious team, they just can't let this shit happen. It's like last year was special. Congratulations, you won the biggest prize in our domestic league. But that being said, it's like you're here for results, and if you don't get them, it's too bad.
What do you think's gone wrong there then? What do you think has gone wrong?
Yeah, Ricky Puig is something special, man. He's their Spanish number 10, but it's and he was absolutely dynamic last year, and he was the guy that really unlocked things. But they also have Marco Reus there as well too. Granted, he's an older Marco Reus. He's not like prime Marco Reus from Borussia Dortmund. But that being said, it's like for this league, he should be okay. But you lose your striker, you lose your number 6. Yeah, I mean, a lot of this happens, but I also think that potentially, like at the skill positions, especially along that back 4, they're just kind of old. You know what I mean? So yeah. It's just it sucks to say it, but that being said, yeah, I would probably agree with that too. Vancouver's probably the best team, but that being said, it's like Greg Vanney has a history of working well with more veteran teams. He did in Toronto as well too. When Toronto was competing for MLS Cups back in the mid 2010s. So it's not like he's unaware about how to motivate a team. It's just I don't think that LA did enough this offseason to cover those losses. Now, granted, it was interesting, right? Because after MLS Cup, it's such a small window, right? Where it's the winter transfer window, which is our off season, and it's only a month long. So the idea was if they couldn't get the replacements in, the idea was you can hold the fort until the summer transfer window, and hopefully you're treading water, because there is a lot of cases where if you can stay somewhere, middle of the pack, anywhere between 6th and 9th in the West, you can still keep yourself within distance. Then you can use the summer transfer window because it's obviously it's a larger window, and you can get your replacements in, and then you can hit the ground running and put yourself in a position to do some damage in the playoffs. But the fact that they just completely collapsed, and even if they try, I don't think they're going to be able to make up the ground to squeak into the to the play-in game. Like, it has been an absolute train wreck. So it almost feels like LA kind of has to reset. Like, use this summer window to fill in your gaps. Wait till Ricky Puig comes back, and then next year you can try again. But that being said, it's like I don't know how you feel about it. Obviously, in England, if you have a disastrous season, Tottenham notwithstanding, generally speaking, your coach is absolutely gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Yeah, without a doubt. And
I mean, do you think it's going to need do they need like a full squad overall, and right, okay, let's get rid of everybody and we'll do a complete rebuild? Or is it just a case of they've got a few now aging players that are on sort of a downward spin of their careers, but they're clinging to the hope that they can still offer something, but because the quality of the MLS is now going up, these aging players are being caught out?
I think it's a mixture of a lot of things. You lose your leading scorer, Joveljic goes to Kansas City. And so it's hard to replace 15 to 20 goals in a short window, right? And the best part was that MLS essentially allowed interleague transfers for straight cash, right? And a lot of teams utilized that real quick. And I thought LA was going to do that. I thought LA was going to go out there and find a striker just to fill in, and try to figure out a way to cover that number 10 position, but they just didn't. And that actually kind of surprised me. And the way that I look at the LA Galaxy, it's, they're eventually going to get Ricky Puig back later this season, probably September, as the season comes to a close. So they'll have him for a little bit, but it was such a huge loss. But the way I look at it, it's like they need a 9, a 6, and they have to rethink their center back pairings, because they're leaky as shit in that back four. And it's like, the question is does LA prioritize a new center back pairing? Are they going to spend a little bit to make sure that back four is a little bit more rock solid, or are they just going to do what they usually do and just buy goals? Last year when they won MLS Cup, they didn't have the best defense in the league, and it like far from it. But what they did was they had a front four that literally just stayed on the front foot, and it was almost weird. It's almost like Ange ball, right? Like the whole thing it's like, we don't care if we give up 2 as long as we're scoring 4. You know what I mean? And that they just tried to outscore teams last year, and it worked pretty well. They wrote it all the way to MLS. They wrote it all the way to MLS Cup and won it. But it's interesting because without their 10 and without a competent striker, you're asking your wings to be your primary goal scorer, and it's just not feasible in this league. It just isn't. So I would think that if they can figure out the striker position, figure out who's going to be their next 6, and just reimagine that center back pairing, I think LA will be okay. But that being said, you're starting to see some new power in the Western Conference. Vancouver's playing well. LAFC will always be there. And now you're going to see Austin kind of climb the table. You're going to see Dallas, Houston, Seattle. Like the Western Conference is like a murderer's row of very good teams. So as we are getting set for the second half, and it looks like that's already happened. And I'm just waiting for my stream to kick back in. All right, here we go. And we are in the 45th plus 45, and it looks like it'll be a goal kick here for Philadelphia, as Philadelphia scored right before the half. And I actually tend to agree with you. I think Columbus just needs to keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah,
that equalizer will come. But that being said, it's like you're going to have to be a little bit more detailistic with that back three, and not allow to have Philadelphia take cheap shots over your back.
Yeah, because I think if Philadelphia get a second, I think the game will sort of get away from Columbus. Yeah. What minute you at now?
46 minutes and 30 seconds.
I mean, when you get to 47,
we'll do. Here's Trebecki off the left side. Here's Azil. Here's Arston. And get in there. All right. 46, 55. 56, 57, 58, 59, 47. As that ball's played back, and it looks like Trebecki's going to be there. That's Zawadzki. He's going to pass all the way to Morea. And it looks like Columbus is going to try to attack the right. Here's Diego Rossi. Good through ball right there. There's the cross. And that's going to be headed away. Right to Max Garson. 1v1. Nice pass to Zeal. Cuts in. to Philadelphia. Oh, nice touch right there. And it's like, who is that? Oh, great defense by Philly. Good timing right there by Columbus as they get that ball right back. Nice touch. And Philadelphia. Oh, nice. I think it was Vasilev who poked that away. And all of a sudden, Philly now will take possession. Just as quick as Columbus turned back upfield on that interception. Philly picks the back pocket and takes possession right back. Unbelievable. As they're showing the win probabilities right now, 68.2% for Philly to win this game. And Columbus is at 10.2. Here's Sullivan now, 1v1, cuts in, trying to look for the net. Ooh, and that ball's skied right there. And there's Vasilev. Yep. Right at the top of the 18-yard box. Nice layoff right there. But that one went.
What the Columbus manager needs to do as well is give it another 5 minutes or so, and if it doesn't, if they can't seem to open them up a little bit and start to look like they're going to equalise, then he's got to look at making changes.
I would agree. You can't let this game continue to go down with the exact same results, right? What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same things over and over again, expecting a different result.
Yeah,
absolutely. As that ball's headed forward, and it'll come down to Vasilev in Philadelphia, who's going to try to. He was trying to turn upfield, but he lays it back. Philadelphia will reset as that ball goes all the way back to Rick, their goalkeeper, who is well outside the box. Who's going to boot this all the way forward, but looks like there's a man on side as he's going to be breaking forward. Nice play in. Shot deflected. Ooh, nice. Here's a zeal for Columbus. That ball's picked. And is there a whistle? No, there's no whistle. Oh, that's a heavy touch that gets out right there. Oh. And it looks like Azil's down. And he was onside too. That ball over the top, again, just taking free shots over the top. He was onside, and he was looking for somebody centrally, and he did find somebody. It almost seemed like it might have been a little rushed. I don't know, but there were two Columbus defenders right in front of him. I don't know. I don't know if a shot in that area was actually a high percentage. I'd be looking for somebody else running it off the right, but it didn't look like there was a runner. Columbus is going to switch this all the way to the left. Here's Arston. That'll roll to Azil, who lays it off to the right. Oh, and they did hit Diego Rossi on the cross, and his header goes wide right. Good opportunity there by Columbus, and it looks like it was Gazdag who played it in. As that ball ricocheted back forward, Gazdag off the right side tried to play it in, and hit Diego Rossi, and he just missed it.
Yeah, he should be doing better there, Diego Rossi. You expect a player of his caliber and quality to be doing better there. I don't think he was expecting the ball to drop as quickly as what it did, because I think he'd sort of made his mind up that he was going to need to head of a ball. So when the ball's sort of dropping that low, he'd already made up his mind he was going to head it. So he didn't adjust his body and get his head in the right shape to be able to get back on target. But yeah, he should be doing better there. I would like to see him just put his foot through that.
Right, like play it off his chest and just play it off his chest to his foot. Right. I was wondering, I was wondering why he was trying to head that in, and I think you're probably right. Maybe he was surprised that the ball was coming from. But here's Philadelphia shot. Ooh, nice play right there by Philly. Again, getting runs in on the counter. And it looks like Philadelphia is literally just opening up that back line, like at
Yeah.
will on that counter. They don't have an answer for it. They can't shut it down. There's Diamante right there that made that run.
Yeah, I think it's because of how Philly is setting themselves up, because they're setting themselves up like a 4-2-2, aren't they? So, and when they're breaking, because you've got obviously you've got your two front men, you've got the two men sat behind them, the two sort of DM CM players. When they are breaking and they're all breaking together, and it's just overwhelming. That, I mean, you look at that. There's 4 players there, all coming forward, all surging, and it's disrupting. Columbus don't know what to do with them because they don't know who to go with and who to pick up. And unless Columbus are getting some men back to help out the defense,
You know what's amazing
we're
was
going to keep
amazing.
getting exposed.
Oh, 100%. What's amazing is just look how much space they had just to run right through the mid to lay that ball off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was nobody there, to stop them just gashing it right through the center of the pitch. So here's Columbus now at the halfway line. There's Cherikbo. That was a bad pass intended for Arston. And there's a looks like there's a foul right there on. It's a yellow card. Wow. Now it's like it's going to be on Cherikbo right there on Vasilev on that tackle. So there's the yellow. There's the first yellow of the game, and I'm trying to. Was that a yellow?
Mm.
I don't think so, man. That looked like a clean tackle to me. That looks like it was a 50-50 call at best.
I mean, a free kick, yes. A yellow card.
Yeah, it might be a little. Oh, nice layup right there by Philly. Nice flick. Ooh. That was a nice flick. And again, Philly just opening up Columbus's back. Here's Azil. 1v 1v2. Now Azil's down on the ground.
Seems to spend a lot of time on ground, Azil.
I'm telling you, he's been on the ground at least 6 times already. Come on, man, get up. I don't know if it bugs you, but this flopping just bugs the shit out of me.
Sloppiness, yeah.
It's like, dude, you're either gonna get the call or you're not, man. You don't need to sell it. This acting job is weak. I see it like it doesn't matter which league, man. There's just a tremendous amount of flopping. Oh boy, that ball almost got picked right there. As Columbus is going to reset right at the halfway line. That plays forward to Darlington Nagbe. Going to drop it in. Here's Azil. Here's Azil again. Now he's going to have to move this all the way back to Zawadzki. He's going to make a run in, plays it off. Here's Morea. Back to Zawadzki. And now, Columbus just has no idea what they're going to do. There's a whistle. Nagby's down now. It looks like Philadelphia. It looks like Columbus is trying everything.
Yeah. It also looks like they're running out of ideas as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep, 100%.
This is where the manager needs to be thinking about making a change here and
yep.
Getting some information across to his players by bringing a player on and letting them sort of change it up, either change the shape or something. Because right now this is not working.
And you looked at it. Oh, nice play by Azil. There's a whistle. Oh, I don't know. As Vasilev is down. Okay, yeah. He did get the back of his foot right there. It's a bad acting job, but yeah, that's definitely a foul. Seriously, man. It's just, I don't know, man. This flopping is just too much for me. Looks like Orlando has taken a 3-2 lead over New England in the second half. Our the Red Bulls have taken a 4-0 lead over LA. And looks like the late games have already kicked off in the first half. No goals to report there. So we'll keep you updated around the league as this game progresses. But we're now in the 58 and a half minute. Philadelphia still clinging to a 1-0 lead, but it looks like Philly's going to be on the corner here as Wagner will take it. And Philly scores again. This baby's over.
Yeah.
And all credit to Philly, man. They played well. That corner's
Yeah,
going to be
they seem to have Columbus's number at the moment. Like I say, but when they're going as a team, but when they're on the attack, they're going in such numbers that Columbus don't really know what to do with them. They don't know which runner to pick up, which one to let go, who's going where, and they just look a little bit disorganized at the back.
Speaking of changes, here they come. Coming on, it will be Jason Russell Rowe, and it looks like they're bringing on a striker. Columbus is bringing on the young striker, and it looks like Cherverko is out and Amundson's in, and it looks like it's like for like. But that being said, yeah, so Jackson's out, Jason Russell Rowe is in, the young striker, the young American striker, so he's going to get some minutes tonight. And I actually kind of like this move because Russell Rowe is actually a nice complementary striker that actually makes nice runs. So we'll see if this one pays off for Wilfred Nancy here. Here's Arston. He's going to get caught between two Philadelphia defenders right there. That's Gastag, sorry. And it's just, but this has been consistent all night long. Philadelphia, whenever a ball's played in, there's always two defenders on the ball. And, Columbus just can't breathe. Here's Farsi, lays it off. Ball in, back corner. Ooh, and they score. That's Max Arfston with the equalizer. And this time he doesn't miss. And there it is.
Instant impact from the substitutions.
I want JB Vardy on my team. He would eat tonight. You know what? As crazy as it sounds, I can potentially see Jamie Vardy come into MLS for the money, 100%. If he wants to pick a late bag up, you know what I mean? I can see Jamie Vardy coming to MLS, 100%. He's at the right age. And that was a nice little through ball by Farsi right there. And that was just a beautiful cross. And there's Arfston just to clean it. That was just a beautiful goal right there. Very beautiful.
Thought left him alone and Kevin.
There's nobody there.
Yep. So much time and space. I mean, did well to take it on the volley, but he could have actually taken a touch and buried it. But yeah, good goal. Good goal.
And right when I'm being complimentary about Philadelphia's defense, about not giving Columbus any room to breathe, they find some room to breathe and get a goal off of it.
Yeah,
of course.
But this is exactly what the manager would have wanted. Really, and he's just brought on some fresh legs as well. So, Columbus might get the tails up a little bit here and start to put.
Yeah, that's gonna be. There's a ball over the top right there. As now they're going to start taking chances, and why not? You still have Rossi out there. You have Russell Rowe out there. Yeah, why not take some chances? There's Philly. Ooh, that ball's turned over. There's Nagby. Oh, nice play by Nagby. He was gonna keep possession. Lays it off. Nice pass. That's eaten up by Philly as they're gonna clear this one all the way out. Interesting. So we got ourselves a whole new ball game, James.
Yeah, absolutely. It could go either way again.
Mm-hmm.
I can see both. I can see a winner coming from either one of them. I mean, Columbus, but again, seeing a lot more of the ball, but Philly quite happy just to allow them to do that. But we've just got to make sure that they tighten up a little bit now. Philadelphia, they can't afford to give away another silly little goal because then this game gets away from them and they're then on the back foot. We just need to.
Philly just take the lead. Ooh, that was a rocket. Ooh, that was a rocket.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I think that
What
was
a goal.
Damiani. Ooh, that was played in beautifully. It was tapped away right to Damiani as he was coming in. Holy. Or is that Westfield?
Yeah, Westfield scored it.
Westfield. Holy Nikes. As that ball kicked out. And it played, there's the ball over the top. Again, ball over the top. Opens up Columbus's back. Nice little touch right there to get in. Lays it off. That ball's going to get kicked out. And there's Westfield who just hits a banger. Banger into the top corner. Unmarked. Bang.
You got to ask yourself, what is Columbus's defence and midfield doing there? Because there were 5 people all watching the ball, and not one of them were watching him. Not one of those midfielders or defenders had gone with Westfield there, and it just left him in acres of space and absolutely hammered that ball into the top corner. And all the hard work that Columbus have just done has just been completely undone. And it was perfect response by Philadelphia.
Yeah, and that that's an interesting observation too, because it makes you wonder what their defensive assignment is, right? Because you had 5 guys in the box playing 2 men.
Yeah.
Ooh, and they almost did it again. And Westfield just came in completely unmarked. There was nobody within 10 yards of Westfield right there.
No.
And it just makes you you have to ask that question again, is what is Columbus's defensive assignment right there? Are they just playing man to man, or you know what I mean? Like it's just, I don't know, man. It's odd.
It really is, because it's hard to tell if they're playing man to man or they're playing zonal. At times it looks more zonal, and then at other times it looks like they're trying to go man for man. It's a bit of an odd one on how he's set them up. But whatever, it's Philadelphia 2, Columbus 1, and it's advantage Philadelphia again.
And I was gonna ask you, once this game got equalized, I was gonna ask you which side is playing as the better team tonight, and I just feel like Philly is. It's weird, right? Because Columbus all of a sudden in the second half has kind of been with the ball far more. But that being said, I just feel like Philadelphia is outworking them.
Yeah, I think I would say, if you would say which team is playing better football, and I would definitely say Philadelphia at the moment. It still does look a little bit rushed from Columbus. And a few wayward passes, but yeah, to me, Philadelphia thoroughly deserve the lead and are good for the lead. So yeah, but still, just about 20 minutes about to play,
and it looks like Philadelphia is making a double switch, and Diamani's coming out for Ure. And it looks like, and let's see, it looks like Baribo is coming out for Macania. So, yeah, it looks like maybe this is, looks like Philadelphia is going to be a little bit more defensive, which doesn't surprise me because, yeah, you're absolutely right. We're like 20 minutes from the final whistle here, and now Philly's got the lead. So maybe they're going to sit back and just try to protect this 1-goal lead. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's like every single 50-50 challenge, Philadelphia just seems to be up for the task. Columbus,
Yeah.
At times, Columbus has just been scatterbrained, especially defensively.
Yeah, and it's like every sort of loose ball, second ball, Philly are really sort of pushing hard to make sure they're first to the ball and first to that second ball, and not giving Columbus much room to breathe there at the moment. I mean, you look at just looking at some of the pressing that Philadelphia are doing, and it's they press in numbers, and there's some top Premier League teams could take a leaf at this is how you press. When you press, we press. If we press in, we're pressing, but we're pressing together.
Yeah, you do it. Yeah, you're doing it as a unit instead of one or two. Yeah, 100%.
Because that's how the press breaks down. Is when it's only one or two players doing the press, it then leaves a gap, and teams are able to exploit it. And that's kind of been some of Columbus's fault of downfall, I would say. This game is when they've gone to press Philadelphia, it's only been one or two plays which has then allowed Philadelphia to move through the lines a little bit.
100%. 100%. Here's Columbus now trying to make something happen. There's a ball in that gets headed back, but now looks like Columbus is trying to play this little 1-2 off the left side. There's Nagby. That's a nice little play through. Now all of a sudden, here comes Columbus. We're going to try to play this up the right side. Rossi lays it off. They're gonna have to play this back. That's nice little touch right there. You play it forward, man. Rossi made that little run right there into the right.
Yeah.
It's like find your playmakers in space. God damn it.
Yeah, but doesn't that just about sum up Columbus? A little bit sloppy with the ball, not seeing the pass.
100%. Sorry about that. My cat is freaking out at the back. So yeah, I 100% agree with you. It's like they Columbus does have talent, like having a lot of talent in the field right now. It's just they can't seem to find a way to put the ball on their talent on their talented feet. And I guess that look at how Philly is lined up with their back four right there.
Yeah. But they're all working together. That Philly line of defence, they're all working together. Yep. When one moves, they all move.
That's exactly right.
And as one player goes forward, either one of the defensive midfielders drops back. I've just seen it happen twice. If you look there, that's a bank of five there that they've got.
Mm-hmm. And look at their moving. Look at that back five that's moving down to the left, right? And you're absolutely right because their captain moved forward 5 feet, and somebody dropped right back into that space, so they're not allowing Columbus to take a shot over the top.
Yeah.
That ball's going to be swinging all the way out to the right. Is it Gazdag? It is. That's. Or was that Rossi? Yeah, I think that might have been Rossi. as that one is weakly hits the keeper Rick right there. So we are now in the 73rd minute, and Philadelphia's defense has just been unbelievably impressive. That's a goal kick from hell right there. But that ball was played up right back to Philly.
Must say, Steve, as well, I did manage to watch a little bit of your show from this morning, but I missed. I do apologise again for that.
No need to apologize. I'm just happy that I'm just happy that you're okay, and I hope that that traffic accident that you had to endure this morning. I hope everybody's okay and walked away from that.
Yeah.
I hope everybody.
So do I. Yeah, it was. I watched a little bit of the stream. I would bounce it. I would popping around in the house doing a barbecue for the family, and I had it playing on in the background. And it was interesting to hear some other people's perspective on the what they think's going on and that, and they make a lot of sense in what they were saying.
You know, we had a nice conversation this morning about because it veered off, and here's Philly right here. Oh, that ball's played in beautifully, but that's going to be deflected right there. Is it going to fall to Columbus? Yeah, it's going to fall to Columbus. That thing is Philadelphia's going to press them. That ball's going to fly out, and that's going to get out right there for a Columbus throw in. But yeah, we had it veered off into the conversation about the protest that has been suspended for this weekend. And obviously, I'm glad that the change for Tottenham decided to suspend the protest, because obviously the big win on Thursday, the last thing you want to do, it's going to come off as tone deaf now that we're in a European final. You know, the thing about it is I don't have a problem with a protest, right? Especially if it's if you're peacefully protesting an injustice or whatever the case may be, whatever your thing is. But with this protest, it's essentially a protest against Enoch, and I think Adrian put it best. He's like, you're protesting billionaire owners because they won't spend the money that you think that they should spend on the football team, and prioritizing profits over football. And it's like, well, my thing is, if you want to protest, fantastic, but don't protest and then show up and pay the ticket prices. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't make any sense. Like it runs counter to what your protest is. I mean, if you're protesting profits over football, you're contributing to the profits.
Exactly.
A statement would be made, like in the first leg against Bodo Glimt, if there were only 100 people in that stadium for a European semifinal, that sends a statement. You know what I mean? And it's just that's the thing that kind of gets me a little bit about these protests. But I'm not anti-protest, and I want to support it. It's just sometimes I feel like it might be a tad hypocritical. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if we go about it in the wrong way.
Yeah.
But I agree. I like I say, I did listen to some of the stream, and I agree. If don't turn up, don't buy the ticket, don't buy a program, don't then go into this club shop and spend money in the club shop. Don't go buy drinks. Don't do anything of that. Stay at home. That's how you're gonna. But if you really want to hit like Levy and it where it hurts, stay at home.
Exactly.
But I understand why they do want to go to the game, because they want to support the team. They're just not supporting the way the team is run. But look, you're never going to change that, and I understand what they're trying to change, but a protest is never going to change that.
I think
one of your guests said said it well, was look at the noise that the Newcastle fans made
Yeah,
to
I
try
I
and
was just going
force
to say
Mike
that.
Ashley to sell. And they were like, that were back page news all the time when Newcastle played. I mean, it wasn't just a game here and a game there. It was near enough every single game. The Newcastle fans turned out en masse to protest, but they was doing exactly the same thing. They were protesting pre-game, and then going into the ground to play for the game and watch the game.
And I think it was Drew who may have said that, and that owner was going to sell when it was time for him to sell, right? There was
Yeah.
going to be no there was like they don't feel the pressure from the protests. Like it's if anything that there's an old saying here in the States, like even bad press is still good press. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And it's like I highly doubt that played a factor in his decision to sell. I just think that he held out until he got his right price.
yeah,
And I would assume that it's going to happen with Tottenham as well. Like eventually Enoch is going to sell. You know what I mean? Eventually, that's going to happen. It's just going to be, will Daniel Levy get his $5 billion?
yeah,
Will they get $5 billion for the club? Because like I think you said, I think it was you who said like the current price right now is like what 3.2, or they
yeah.
want
3.2 billion. Yeah,
yeah. And it's like you probably would assume that Daniel Levy wants to get as much money as he can from a sale before he gives up this cash cow.
of
100%.
course he does. He's a businessman. Of course he's going to want the maximum bang for his buck. He's going to he wants to put as much money in his own pocket as he possibly can. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him in the slightest. I mean, the thing I do remember when the club was lower Premier League and really
Yep.
struggling, and we really didn't have money being invested in the club. And
Blue ball right there for Columbus, but nobody was anywhere near the keeper right there. And
yeah,
I think that was Arston right there trying to play one in, but good play by the keeper from Philly. So it'll be a goal kick for Philly. But yeah, the crazy thing is, yeah, like when this club was owned by Alan Sugar, Tottenham was like a lower table team. They were like
yeah,
10 to 15th, and they were consistently in that yeah, they may have won a cup once a decade, but they were never really going to be in contention for the Premier League, especially at the beginning of the Premier League when Blackburn was winning it with Shearer, and then Manchester
yeah,
United just went on that unbelievable run. Liverpool was always good, especially in the early 2000s. And like you look at what Enoch did, and turning them from a lower table team into a top four team. And it's like, yeah, like, does Tottenham have problems? Yeah, of course. But I would probably assume that most teams have problems. But for the most part, when you look at what Enoch has done for Tottenham, a world-class training ground, a world-class stadium, a team that is, eighth in the Deloitte Money League as far as worldwide profit. Like
yeah.
this team is a money printing factory, and it's like, but that being said, it's like, the knock is like they run it like a business. Yeah, but so does every other Premier League team. Every owner in the Premier League runs it that way, just like every professional sports owner here in the States runs it that way. Like this is nothing new. And I understand, right? I get it because there's a lot of old time football fans that just want it to be football. And it's like I hate to break it to you. It's just that's not how sports teams are run anymore. It's run
No,
as a corporate entity now.
yeah, absolutely. And what 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 some don't realise as well is that we have spent money, but it's just we haven't spent money well.
That's and it's the powers that be that get put in charge that don't necessarily have a bulletproof plan in which to not just spend money but also make sure that you have the right players who are out on loan versus the right players who should be sold every single season to make sure that our transfer budget actually has that excess cash where if you want to buy a big name player, you have the resources to do it, and still being able to bring in players on loan, bring in young players. You know what I mean? It's just,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like right now Tottenham is mismanaged, but that being said, it's like that should change with Paratici coming in. I guess that should be the saving grace right there. Is like there's going to be a guy who's going to be coming in with a plan, but I just I don't know, man. Like I get it, right? I understand because fans are frustrated, right? I mean, we haven't won a trophy since 2008, so there's a lot of desperation within the fan base. They just want to be proud of something. And I feel bad because this year has been an absolute train wreck. But that being said, we're 90 minutes away from our first trophy in quite a long time. So it's like there is something to dream about. So
absolutely, there's something to dream about, and we should be dreaming about it. I mean, I got very frustrated today. It was
I saw.
In
the WhatsApp group, yeah,
100%. And I think a lot of that is my frustration. I don't know how to say it properly. My frustration, not at how the club is run, but the perception of my club. I think that's the difference. It's the perception that, regardless, that just because it's Spurs, that
sure
we're going to lose, and it's a foregone conclusion that Man United are going to win.
That doesn't. Go ahead. I'm sorry, man.
It's all right. And I was just going to say, and the problem that I have with that is that Manchester United, yes, although they are a big name, as in their name is big because of their past records, but that's the past. The past is the past. Can't live on your past glories forever. And I just think we're a better team.
I think quality-wise, I would agree. I think we have the better back five, and I think that we have enough to be able to score a goal and sit back on it and defend for our lives. I think we actually have that ability.
Yeah.
And the one thing I like is now we have multiple looks we can actually throw. We beat them 3 times playing Ange ball. And now that this team has become far more pragmatic throughout the course of the Europa League run, there's multiple looks at which Ange can throw at him that's going to leave Amorim guessing. Are they going to be pragmatic or are they going to come forward? Like we don't know how they're going to line up. Whereas with Ange Postecoglou, knows exactly how Amorim's going to line up, knows exactly how they're going to attack him. Here's Philadelphia running into the box. That's going to be broken up right there. And that's the thing. It's like, there's going to be no secrets for Spurs against Manchester United. We know exactly how they're going to play. And I still think that if we can neutralize Bruno Fernandes, I don't care who they're going to get forward. It's not going to matter. If Bruno Fernandes has space to do what he does best, it's potentially going to be a long afternoon, right? So
yeah.
Whoever's going to be lining up at the 6 has a tough task.
Yeah. But I think I'd like to think Bentancur can put him in his pocket.
I would love to see it, but you would probably assume that we're going to see that double CDM with Bentancur and Basuma.
Yeah. I would suspect. I would definitely suspect.
Yeah. And we're just gonna pop out on the counter and just get numbers forward.
And positive news with Sonny. If we see Sonny get some minutes,
I heard
tomorrow. Even if we can just get maybe 10-15 minutes in his legs, just to sort of start easing him back into it, and then against Villa, maybe give him half an hour, 45 minutes, build his sharpness up. But I agree with what you said. I don't want to just see him be played just for the sake of it's Sonny. Do you know what I mean? I love it.
Yeah, you got to take the romance out of it, right? Like, I
Yeah, yeah,
understand he's club captain, but if by the time that final rolls around and he can't play 60 minutes, he has no business starting.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
and I'd rather bring him on with 30 minutes left, knowing that he could play 30 minutes, and you can get the best 30 minutes out of him. Which, by the way, I think that might be his best role moving forward. But I digress. I just think that would be the best use for him. Because he's still, I don't know how you feel. Like, I think like if he's on it, he might be one of our better finishers. But, you know, the difference between Sonny and Harry Kane is like, it's Harry Kane.
Yeah,
Like, even Harry Kane at 75%, I still agree that he should have started that Champions League final. You know, but with with Sonny, he's certainly not Harry Kane.
no,
You know what I mean? Like, it's like you have to be smart about this, and the question is whether Spurs are going to force him to play him. You know what I mean? For monetary reasons or things like that, right? Like, is Daniel Levy going to force him to start? I don't know.
I don't think Postecoglou would allow Daniel Levy to do that to his team. But I mean, big congratulations to Harry Kane, by the way, getting to lift a second trophy already. That's 2 now he's been able to lift. So,
and it looks like, by the way, Columbus is going to make their final round of substitutions now, as we are approaching the 89th minute, as Darlington Nagbe comes out for Columbus, and it looks like Lapolien is going to come in for Nagbe. So it looks like this is going to be Columbus's final gas as Arston comes out for Sejdic. So this might just be it for Columbus, as and they're gonna turn that one over, but that ball over the top is going to be way too far, and Columbus will retain possession as that ball's kicked over to Patrick Schulte. But and again, congratulations to Harry Kane. He's well deserving of his first trophy, and it sucks that it didn't happen at Tottenham.
It does.
And it still burns me that we couldn't figure out a way to have enough ambition to keep Harry Kane happy. That still pisses me off.
Wouldn't it be hugely ironic though that the season that Harry Kane wins his first trophy, that Spurs going to win their first trophy in 10 years as well?
No. Isn't it like 18 years? Like 2008 was 17 years. 17 years. 2008 was the last trophy of the League Cup. In 2008. So you're talking
18 years,
17, 18 years, yeah. So that would be actually quite ironic. The year that Harry gets his first trophy, we get our first trophy in nearly 2 decades. But that being said, it's like the only thing that worries me about the final, and Philadelphia almost scored right there. Good movement right there by Philadelphia, and we have 4 minutes of stoppage time here. With Philadelphia leading 2-1, is the fact that I think United has been benefited with 4 straight red cards in the last 4 European matches. Coincidentally, the timing of these red cards happened to swing momentum in Manchester United's favor. Now, I'm not the biggest conspiracy theory guy. I believe there is room for conspiracy, but that being said, it's like the odds makers picked both of these teams to be in the final when this thing started, and I don't know what to make of it, but that being said, it's like who gets 4 cards in 4 who gets 4 red cards 4 matches in a row.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And it makes me worried about. For example, Betancourt goes in for a challenge, a good challenge, but all of a sudden, there comes the card, and it swings momentum the other way. Like that makes me like whether or not like we're going to be able to get fair challenge, fair tackles ruled accordingly, or is there going to be like a short fuse when it comes to challenges? That's the only thing that worries me.
I would like to see the referee that officiated the second leg of the Bodo Glimt Spurs game managed referee the final, because I think he had a great game.
Mm-hmm. Knowing when to let the players play, and only using his whistle when it was blatant fouls, 100%. Like there's a ball. Ooh, and Columbus just equalized, and it was Zawalski off the corner in the 92nd minute, approaching minute 93. Columbus has equalized off the set piece corner, and it's their center back Zawalski. Unbelievable goal by Columbus.
Good flick on there.
100%. And let's look at this again. As that ball was whipped in, it was headed down to the foot of Zawalski right there, who beats his man. That was horrible defense by Wagner right there.
Yeah, I think he just sort of got wrong-footed a bit, and I remember the defender on the goal line didn't do his job either. I mean,
yep.
He just saw the ball go by him and fell to his knee as if to say, "Oh shit, I should have been stopping that."
Oh wow! And Philadelphia gets their 3 points snatched away from them in the 93rd minute. Great goal right there by Columbus. Right, I like teams that don't give up, even when it feels like this thing is about to die. Columbus continue to stay on it to get that equalizer, and this probably could end in a 2-2 draw as Columbus is trying to attack. As that ball is going to get booted all the way up. We got a runner right there on the right side. It's going to come down. And Columbus pull this one as it's been played centrally. And he still retains possession. Wow, nice possession. Nice. Here we go. That ball's whipped in. That's going to get headed out. But Columbus will retain possession here in the 94th minute. So they're going to reset. Let's play back to Zawadzki. Out to the right side. Play it up. I believe that's Diego Rossi right there. Can Columbus snatch a victory? And there's a whistle. Good Lord, man. And that's going to do it.
Yeah.
Full time. 2-2. 2-2. And just when it looked like Philly was going to get their 3 points, Columbus snatches it.
Yeah,
wow,
kind of
that was
the party right at the death there. But I think a draw was a fair result. Both teams had good possession Columbus had more possession, I would say, but they I think a draw is a fair result. Philly will be deeply gutted. They'll see it as a 2 points dropped rather than a point gained. But yeah, good game.
Let's go over the final stats. Possession stats. Columbus finished with 71% versus Philly's 29%. Amazing what a half does. XG, Philly led XG 1.42 to 0.95. But Columbus does get that late goal right there. Total shots 16-10 to Philadelphia. Shots on target 6-3 to Philadelphia. Big chances actually goes 4-2 Columbus. Accurate passes 598 for Columbus. 88% to 212. Wow. They doubled up on the passing. Fouls committed 13-10 Philly. And Columbus wins the corner battle 5-3. As you look at shots, block shots, Philly had 5 block shots. But they also had 6 shots on target to Columbus's 3. Total shots 16-10. Shots inside the box, Philly actually had 8 to Columbus's 7. Shots outside the box 8-3. As we look at touches in the opponent's box, it's going to go Philly 25-20. But here's the crazy thing: offsides. Philly had 6 whistles for offsides. And that's actually crazy. Passes in the opposition half 327 to Columbus to Philly's 101. And that's an absolutely telling. That's actually a telling stat right there. And the crosses, Columbus led that one 5-1. Duels. Duels won. Philly won that 48-44. Ground duels, it was Philly 34-33. Aerial duels, it was 14-11. But Columbus did win successful dribbles. So when you look at it, I think again, even though it does lean in Columbus's favor, it seems like it's pretty even on the stats. I will say that to me, I don't necessarily. There wasn't necessarily anybody that really stood out. I mean, Zawadzki for Columbus did the center back who gets the late goal does stand out. I thought he had a rock solid game, playing his position pretty well, except for the fact that every single time Philly broke, man, Columbus. I don't know, man. Columbus looked sloppy. For the first, I'll say for like the first 60 minutes, Philadelphia looked very, very, very good. But congratulations to Columbus for pulling this one back to a draw, snatching away the 3 points and coming away from Philadelphia with a point. That is a testament to a team that knows how to win. And again, having that ability to know how to pull out tough decisions, I like that, especially considering the opposition. Philadelphia is in second place, and 3 points would have put them into first place. So, this was a game that Columbus either needed to win or come away with a point. And sure enough, winners know how to do those type of things. So, congratulations to Columbus. Before we say goodbye, real quick, let's go ahead and check the scores around the league. And again, Chicago today beat Atlanta United 2-1. Toronto beat DC 2-0. Minnesota beat Inter Miami 4-1. How about this one? The Red Bulls absolutely dummied the LA Galaxy 7-0.
Wow.
Eric Maxim Chopin got a brace in the 7th and 31st. Emil Forsberg got a brace in the 16th and the 50th. Cameron Harper in the 68th. In the 88th minute would be Dennis Yangar. And then in the 90+3, Mickey Yamane gets the it's actually an own goal right there. But good Lord, man. The New York Red Bulls absolutely dummies the LA Galaxy. Full time in Cincinnati as they beat Austin 2-1. Evander in the 12th minute and Valenzuela in the 76th. Brandon Vasquez, U.S. men's national team, he's in the striker pool, scores on a penalty in the 48th, but Cincinnati gets a big win there. Montreal beats NYCFC in the second half, a goal by Owusu in the 48th minute, so congratulations, Montreal, with a big 3 points against NYCFC. Obviously, we just wrapped up Philadelphia and Columbus, and right now in extra time, New England and Orlando City is tied 3-3 as this is now in the 90+11.
Wow.
Martin Ojeda has a hat trick tonight. He scored in the 24th, 35th, and 55th minute. Yusuf for New England scored in the 38th, Polster in the 44th, and Charles Hill in the 85th off a penalty. So that thing is about to wrap up. And it looks like this thing is going to even out in the draw. In the nighttime games, we are at the half in a lot of these games. San Diego is 0-0 against St. Louis. Real Salt Lake has a 1-0 lead over FC Dallas. And, of course, my guy, Diego Luna, U.S. men's national team, number 10. He scored for Real Salt Lake, and I think this makes like the fourth match and fifth that Diego Luna has scored. That dude is on fire. Don't be surprised if Diego Luna makes the move to Europe in the summer. He is that good. That dude is unbelievable. I'm going to have to do a Real Salt Lake match so you can get your eyes on Diego Luna. That dude is just unbelievable. Charlotte and Nashville is 0-0 right now at the half. Sounders and the Dynamo are tied 1-1, but there is news in this one because there is Obafemi Fela Adowasu scores in the 32nd minute, but in the 38th he draws a red card, so now Houston is down to 10 men, and Danny Muzovsky scored for the Sounders in the 22nd minute, so that one is 1-1, but the Dynamo are playing with 10 men. And later tonight, San Jose is at Colorado, Sporting's at Portland, and tomorrow LAFC will beat over the border for Vancouver. So all in all, man, it's been a fun It's been a fun matchup tonight in Major League Soccer. So first, before we call it a night, your thoughts on both Philadelphia and Columbus?
Um, yeah, like I said earlier, I think it was good game, entertaining. Could definitely see that Philadelphia like to play the more direct sort of style of play, long balls, pinging it distance, letting the ball move the distance rather than the players with the ball. Like to play the long ball and switching it across and sort of spreading the play that way. And I think that the way they set themselves up in the 4-2-2 does play to that, because it allows those two sort of attacking midfielders, gives them the onus to be able to drift out if they want to drift out, or to stay in tight with the attackers. And it seemed to work really well for them. Columbus, sorry, not Colorado. Columbus, again, really good on the ball, but very sloppy at times as well. And I just think it was they lacked a little bit of cutting edge tonight. They did score 2, and that seems strange me saying they lacked a bit of cutting edge. But what I mean by that is that if they'd have been a bit more clinical, they could have if both teams had been more clinical, either one of them could have been out of sight by half time. But I think a draw is, again, a very fair result, and it was a good match. And I think both sets of fans will probably wake up tomorrow and be satisfied.
I would agree. One of the things that I appreciated about Philadelphia was they had multiple ways of stretching that back line. If they wanted to counter and play through the middle of the park, they had no problem doing it. They were able to move centrally with ease. But that being said, when they did switch off to the outside, they were in a lot of 1v1 situations where they were able to ping some balls into the box. They actually had a couple nice crosses tonight. But one of the things that I liked was daring, brave football, playing balls over the top and just letting their speed dictate. I felt at times that Columbus had no answer for that speed from Philadelphia. But on the defensive side of the ball, there was a large portion of tonight that Columbus just lacked ideas about how to break that down. And
Yeah.
you saw that defensive movement from Philadelphia, especially the second half. Like they could not penetrate that back line of Philadelphia. No. And they were just kind of stuck passing back and resetting and trying to get in. And I couldn't do that. I got to reset. And then, and just when it looked like Philadelphia was about to wrinkle ahead of this one, Columbus finds their first goal, which was a nice played-in goal right there, and that cross to Arkston at the back post was perfect. He played that in for a nice goal, and then in 90 plus 3 off the set piece right there, Zawadzki's there to clean it up, and all of a sudden we're level at 2. I thought Columbus was fortunate enough. I thought they were lucky to be able to walk away with the draw in this one.
Yeah, I thought
Philadelphia was the best team for a large portion of this one.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. I think probably what contributed to Columbus as well is, I wouldn't call it defensive errors, but I'd just say defensive switching off. Just switching off momentarily defensively. Like the first goal, nobody running, nobody following him, nobody tracking him. And I think the time of the equalising goal, the second equaliser. Oh,
It's 1 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock, and it's 1 o'clock in the morning back in the UK. Yeah, you're tired, bud.
No, it's 2:45.
Oh, quarter to 3. Oh, dang.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just think when Columbus equalised the second time, I think that you look at the minutes on the clock, you look at the time gone, and just switching off momentarily, and it just allows them back in. Just you give them a sniff, and they've managed to jump all over it and pounce on like just defensive switching off. But a good game, and I think, like I say, I think both sets of team or both sets of fans will be satisfied with a draw. But I think Columbus will be more satisfied.
By the way, with the win tonight, Columbus stays atop of the. Actually, they draw into a tie with Cincinnati on 25 points, but they still remain 2 points ahead of Philadelphia, who sits third. Charlotte's also in fourth, currently up 1-0 right now. They're sitting on 22 points. So that Eastern Conference 1 through 4 is separated by only 3 points. And that thing is absolutely just a monster right now in the Western Conference. Obviously, Vancouver sits atop, 4 points clear of Minnesota, who's in second at 22 points, and then 4 points back of San Diego and Portland. And then let's see, 5 points back is going to be LAFC in Seattle in Colorado. So the Western Conference, as it sits right now, one through in the 8th and 9th spot right now, which is the play-in. If things were to end today, it would be Real Salt Lake and Austin FC, Colorado, Seattle LFC, Portland, San Diego, Minnesota, and Vancouver. Although I do see San Diego slipping a little bit as the season goes. This is their inaugural season. They got off to a decent start, but I think the league has caught up to them. But that being said, there's still a lot of football to be played. FC Dallas is still a potentially good side. San Jose is kind of hanging around right there. But I think the Eastern Conference, when you look at it from top to bottom, this goes all the way down to 11th place with Chicago on 16 points. So there's going to be a lot of movement as the season goes along. So from that standpoint, I think that's going to do it for us. So, hey, James, to let everybody know, tomorrow we will be back. You and I will be back for the Tottenham Hotspur before the whistle, as we do our pre-match build-up towards Spurs versus Crystal Palace. We, of course, will have the watch-along and, of course, final score. So we have a big day tomorrow on THFC TWD as we cover everything Tottenham Hotspur. So we will be back tomorrow. Any last words, my guy?
Thanks very much for having me. It's been a pleasure. I've not been my usual chatty self. Even I think the late hour did start to catch up with me a little bit. But no, really enjoyed it. And yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. We've got Dermatron is at the game as well. So I'm hoping it's going to be a good game for him making that journey, and hopefully we'll hear from him in before the whistle and at the half time to get his thoughts from the ground itself.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna get a live look in from White Hart Lane, I believe, before the whistle, and I also believe at halftime as well too. So that's going to be absolute. I'm going to be absolute buzzing to see that. I just want to see. I want to see that ground rocking tomorrow. With the obviously with the spot in the final, I just want to see exactly how the fans are treating tomorrow's match, knowing there could be a lot of rotation. But we're going to get into that tomorrow. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button here on Stateside Footy, but also don't slack off as well too. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for THFC TWD as well too, because obviously we're sister stations, so it is what it is. I do want to thank Big James for stopping by tonight. I always like the MLS live stream, but I like to do it. I like to do the 4:30. The first round of matches on Saturday because it's 4:30 Eastern, and that's what 9:30 your time right there. So you're not up until 3:00 in the morning. I try to be mindful, but the first games this week were absolute dog shit, and I didn't want to have you watch two teams that are going to be dog shit. So it is what it is, man. I thought this would be 1 versus 2 would be a good game for you to see.
Good game.
But next
game.
Yep. So next week, I'm always looking out for those 4:30 games. But I do want to thank you for stopping by. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Jazz Fusion, who was steady all the way tonight, man. I'm a big fan of Jazz Fusion. Juliano Suarez was here tonight. Donna Colin was here tonight. And,
she popped in to say hello, did she?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. He did. And then we have Tekken, who who stood by today as well too. So I want to thank everybody who tuned in. I want to thank everybody in the chat. We will see you tomorrow for all things Tottenham Hotspur on THFC TWD. So until then, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. James, thank you again. And I wish you guys a great Saturday night, and we'll see you tomorrow for our beloved Tottenham Hotspur. So until then, it's all about that. It's all about that U.S. soccer, baby. Have a good night.
Rusted goalposts under fading skies.